managing the incident.
Commissioner here.
He's managing the incident. Still an active incident.
Want to thank you all again for joining us. I want to give a quick recap of the information we shared earlier, and then we will give you some additional facts. An aircraft went down in the vicinity of Roosevelt Mall on Cottman Avenue, and it did occur shortly after 6 p.m. Again, we have no reports on the number of fatalities, so we are asking everyone for their thoughts and prayers for all who may have been impacted and affected by this tragedy. Several dwellings and vehicles were also impacted, and so we are urging people, particularly those families who live in the surrounding area, to please stay home if possible. If you see any debris, and those who are conducting the investigations have repeated consistently, please do not touch anything because it is still an active investigation. Just call 911, please, if you see anything. Investigators and all of our federal, state, and local partners are working as expeditiously as possible during this very difficult time. New information that we want to share with you, that shelter is now available at the Samuel Fells High School located at 5500 Langdon Street. Samuel Fells High School, 5500 Langdon Street. If anyone has been impacted and you need shelter and support, it is readily available for you. In terms of our federal and state partners, I want to say a special thank you to the NTSB. They are here on site now. The FAA, the Pennsylvania State Police, Pennsylvania DEP, of course our police and fire departments, and OEM. I am here with Governor Shapiro. We've been in constant contact since it started. You'll be hearing from him shortly. But I also want to say a special thank you to our additional partners who we have spoken with, our federal leaders, U.S. Senators Fetterman and McCormick. Thank you so very much. All hands on deck. They wanted to make sure any and everything that we needed from the federal government, those supports and services are available. Congressman Evans, Boyle, and Scanlon, our congressional delegation, a special thank you to each of you for your support. I also need to affirm that locally here, Senator Joe Picozzi, Rep. Solomon, Reps. Nielsen, Doherty, who represents this area, and Bellman, Commissioner Dealey, and Council Member Driscoll was present. If there was ever a time when we needed to affirm what the One Philly philosophy means, the time is now, and I'm very proud about how our federal, state, and all of our local partners are working hard to deal with this tragedy. I now want to turn it over to our governor and to say thank you, Governor, for your support and being here with us this evening.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. The mayor preaches about One Philly. She talks about a unified approach to governing every day. What you're seeing here is a unified response to an awful aviation disaster. For as awful as that aviation disaster was, tonight we also saw the best of Philly. We saw neighbor helping neighbor. We saw Pennsylvanians looking out for one another. I want to reaffirm the comments the mayor said about all of the different agencies working together, and I want to especially thank and salute Philly Fire and Philly Police, who did an extraordinary job this evening. We know that there will be loss in this region, and we want to offer our thoughts and our serious prayers for those who are grieving at this moment. The mayor knows, and I want you all to know, that the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania stands firmly with our partners in the city. We have, at the request of Commissioner Bethel, 45 state troopers who are on the ground right here in Northeast Philly. We have 25 members of our PennDOT team who are here right now. We have members of the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Authority who are here, including our director, Randy Padfield, who joins me behind here. We also have members of DEP, the Department of Environmental Protection, who are here to make sure that any hazardous materials are addressed. And as you heard the mayor reference, we're joined by several state representatives and senators. I want to thank them. They will make sure that whatever is needed for this community gets to this community. I also spoke earlier this evening with the United States Secretary of Transportation, Secretary Duffy, who offered his full support to Northeast Philly. And as the mayor alluded to, he has dispatched 4 members of the FAA to Philly, and there are 4 members of NTSB on their way as well. We have all the resources that we need. And again, as the mayor always says, one Philly, we are unified in our approach to deal with this emergency. And again, I'll just end by sharing my prayers, the prayers of my wife, Lori, our First Lady, and on behalf of 13 million Pennsylvanians, we are all here for Northeast Philly tonight in this very, very difficult moment. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you all. When we have additional information to report, we will come back and give another briefing. But now we want to let our federal, state, and local partners do their jobs and go to work. We'll report back to you when we have more information. Thank you all so very much for your patience and understanding.
Thank you.
That's me.
Clipped in?
Yeah. You'd be surprised, right?
I am surprised. How many times it's moved around?
It's like a Rubik's Cube. Yes. More like Jenga.
Nope, I'm good. I'm great. I'm ready to go. Thank you so much.
What are we doing? Because nobody's communicating with me.
Hearing is on fuzzy here. I'm passing Jamie right now.
Are you coming up at some point, or they haven't said anything yet? Okay.
I texted Jamie. I just went to the car.
Yeah, you live in like a minute or not?
No one's sending it to me.
That's why I was thinking no.
Hey, I don't know. I just texted Jamie because am I like, do I have a soundbite or something? Like, I don't really. Hey, do I have a soundbite or anything? Oh, okay. So am I going to do the nuts and bolts?
be sure we're taking it.
Did you say there's not as many fish and sausages on 16?
I don't know how much is left. It looks like it's pretty much here.
Yeah.
Are you planning on having me push or something, or are they rolling it in?
I literally know nothing. Hey, Aaron. Am I going to do like a nuts and bolts of like what just happened and? Okay. Okay.
I didn't hear that. What's going on? I didn't hear what Aaron said. What are we doing?
She said she just got in the seat, so she said either try to talk to someone and see if I can add anything to it. Because she's like, no nuts and bolts. But I was like, I don't really.
We'll see if Jamie can cut a bite for you. And that
Yeah,
way...
well, Jamie did say that, but I don't think everyone's on the same page.
Yeah, I got you. Because I need to figure out where I'm going to set up. No. Now you can talk.
Okay. Hey. Sorry, we just moved.
Well, a few hard facts that we got from a fire official who said you can report this, but just don't indicate that he's high up in the fire department. And said at least 6 people transported by fire department medical executives at the big square emergency to the Jeans Temple University campus, which is the closest hospital to this spot here in Northeast Philadelphia. He did not know the extent of burns or injuries, just people that were hurt somehow, whether they were in cars or in homes. And he also told me it was 6 homes in total that they put fires out on. But the jet fuel and the debris initially had burned 3 houses and then started spreading to the other houses. And I was showing
Step
you,
this way.
or I was at least talking to you live on the air. I think I was on the phone at the time watching the flames shoot through the roof of the corner house in Calvert and Cotton. And then those flames obviously spread, and they had a collapse in that first house as well. So it was dangerous for the firefighters, but their job, number one, was to get into those houses and get all those people out. And they were successful in getting everybody out alive of the homes, they believe. So that is some good news from the fire department. And boy, I was breathing in that jet fuel smoke. I can't imagine as close as I saw those guys. And they were on the roofs of those houses as well, doing that job. So a little bit of positive news and a little bit of news on what happened to people who were hurt, not in the flames. Still no information about all those vehicles that were on fire. You would hope people maybe find their lives and got out of there. We didn't know the ground, but all the witnesses that didn't hear anything about anybody with any of these cars. So that is the fear, and that is why officials do not have a number of casualties, because they know who's on the plane.
Aaron, I'm ready whenever you want to take me.
And so when you have a plane crashing into a populated area like this on a populated road at a
Okay. If you still just want me to say what the scene looks like, you could take me.
There could be more people injured and hurt bad, and maybe even killed in this crash here. So let's go to what we talked about earlier, because we're now on the corner where the governor and the mayor just spoke, and across the street is that diner you were talking about. And boy, how much of that debris, and you'll see in the video, and our executive producer Abby said, just run it and let the manager talk, because I went in there and he was showing it to me. So let's play some of that video. There was a piece of plane, they believe, that shot through the window while people were eating dinner in there. I'm going to show my phone.
Okay.
All right.
You want Dawn to text you?
So there you go, and that shows you how far and how fast that debris was flying and, ricocheting off whatever. Here is Corporal Desmond Ryan, who I deal with the police department. That's her on the left with another officer, and they're examining what's believed to be an air tank from the jet, and that's right across the street from where we are now, right outside of the McDonald's. And here's a close-up shot of it. It's a jet rescue tank, an air tank, something that would be on an airplane in case somebody needed oxygen while they're being treated. And so on the plane, the paramedic, physician, pilot, co-pilot, and that mother and young girl. And the plane itself, Jason, you mentioned the family being from Mexico. The plane itself, according to an official here on scene, also registered in Mexico. So it was on its way to Missouri, and then maybe refueling there, and then on its way to Mexico. Now here's another personal observation. So for the folks who weren't watching this at 5 o'clock news, we broke a story about a man who stole a Mercedes over in South Jersey, and then when the police over there tried to stop him, he hit a police officer, maybe two, hurt one of them seriously, then led police on a pursuit across the bridge. That's why I was so close to the scene at the time. I did a 5 o'clock report. And the reason I'm bringing that up, I want to talk about the weather conditions, which will play a part in this investigation. And the reason I had to go from my place in Center City in a car all the way out here, which was almost an hour drive in traffic, is because our helicopter couldn't fly because of the conditions in the air. So there were no news helicopters flying. Maybe jets and other aircraft can fly, but these were harsh conditions to fly in, which is why all the news helicopters were grounded, and that's why we couldn't cover that story. And I had to get out here and hightail out here at 2 o'clock to cover that story because we couldn't send the helicopter to it. You had the low ceiling, which means fog/clouds, and we had rain, and so visibility obviously is bad and certainly not safe enough to fly a helicopter. That'll be part of this investigation. Did weather play a part in this crash here in Northeast Philadelphia today?
officials? I did not. I'm hoping I didn't come in on it. I heard about it because I heard it on the street. You got my name. No, it's cool.
Happy, do you hear me? Yes, immediately.
We just did our second press conference here. Yeah, that's exactly how it was.
This is a young man, Palace, who I had seen earlier. He was out here with me.
Yep.
He had just gotten back from a politics with his mom. They live nearby. He was up and got up. Yeah. We won't talk about that now.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's talk about what the person who said was assault. That's just found in the back.
Yeah.
So what were you doing?
So I just, like I said, I just had gotten the house and I just got back from the visit 5 minutes before. So my mom was taking me upstairs. I see it and I heard a loud thing. She's like, what is that? I'm like, a thing at the crash. Yep. Started out the house, went up there, put my phone and was recording with the trash. Okay. I gotta go because I got up there like 5 minutes after that too. You standing there, boy comes out, burning, blood down in his trash.
We were wondering about all the people that were outside and all the people that warned. We haven't heard how they are. You know, just people taking them out and hopefully they come back and it's okay. It sounds like we didn't know what we were doing. And now we realize what we're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, I got all of it.
And it's hard to believe that you were
It was. I never experienced anything like that. It was right there. It had to be so good.
Yeah, and the car park is an airplane park for that too. And what did it hit you that it might have been a plane? Right away. What made you think this here and here?
Yeah, right away. When I heard that, yeah, I knew what it was. I knew that right away.
What the heck is people going on here when they put it in the election? What? $20. What everybody knows is silly. Did it ever occur to you that they were in the line trying to take off over Montana?
No, I would have never thought that happened. I would never thought that happened. And especially not on not on the years.
What was your mom saying?
Yeah, she from the state. Well, she went out there too. Like, I was went out there quick. I'm not no firefighter or nothing, but I was going to try to do whatever I could do. But the fire department and police did a very good job getting up there quick. But they wanted everybody to move.
Yeah, what you saw, you found out on it was a problem.
Yeah, it was like a problem.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then you knew you better not stay there, right?
Yeah, no, but that's the thing. I stayed close. I didn't stay like too close. Like I went back. But it was just tragic to see something like that. Somebody that was real tragic. Somebody should move.
All right. Yeah. So it's very bad. We were shooting videos and we didn't know realize what we were seeing until later, and we realized it. And I was telling him, don't post that stuff. Just awful stuff for a young 17-year-old guy to see that and deal with it. And he's handling it pretty well right now. And hopefully that is one of the best fighters in Philadelphia's future right there, Casualty.
Yes, Gray and Shari, and as you can see, it's still very much an active scene. You see the flashing lights, you see the police vehicles, but it feels a bit calmer at this time. I mean, when we first arrived here, this whole area was covered with bystanders, some who had seen everything unfold, while others were here wondering what was going on. You had police officers putting up the yellow tape, but now it feels a bit calmer, but, you know, we're thinking about those who were impacted, those who were on the plane, those on the ground, and just them and their families, and we're keeping them in our thoughts and prayers tonight. Now, as we've mentioned, officials say 4 crew members and a pediatric patient and a family member were on board. At this time, they cannot confirm any survivors, and no names are being released at this time until the family members are notified. But Mayor Sherelle Parker says several dwellings and vehicles were impacted as well, and as we've seen in so many videos at this point, homes and vehicles were on fire and severely burned, and debris was just scattered everywhere. We also don't know how many people were injured, those who were on the ground or on the plane, but we saw people on stretchers being taken away. And as for the scene, as Mayor Sherelle Parker has said, you heard Jess say it as well, they say do not touch the debris, instead call 911 so that police can come, and it's part of the investigation. So neighbors also who live in the surrounding community, they ask that you stay in your homes, and if you need a shelter, if you were impacted in that way, they advise you to go to Samuel Fells High School for help. And, you know, again, this is just the very beginning of the investigation, so we can expect there to be more press briefings and more information to unfold. But as we've heard, you know, this is all hands on deck. This is a federal, state, local level where everyone's helping. We heard that everyone's working together. There's 45 state troopers on the scene, PennDOT, Emergency Management Authority, DEP, state and federal leaders, the FAA and NTSB. Everyone's here on scene, evaluating, trying to figure out what happened here tonight. And again, this comes just days after the plane crash in the D.C. area, so we're thinking about them, but then we're also thinking about all those who have been affected at this crash here just in our own backyard. Shari and Gray. Thank you. All right.
Do we just have an 11 minute, or is we're only half hour? I think we're only hour. But we're probably here till 11. But who knows? I don't know what they're going to do. They both sort of fell. Which I was told there wouldn't be anybody out. I was told nobody would be there, so. Sorry you're back. How the hell did you pull that one off?
Well, you know, I don't even work on Fridays.
Oh, really? You got called in? Nice. You have a crew yet?
Talk to Greg. What are you doing? I'm going to show my phone. Okay. What sound?
Came in over there.
No, we use it. Sorry.
You came in like walking?
No, I drew. Coming up
Oh, like Castleton or something and cut over?
yeah.
Okay.
Obviously,
You know, when I started here, I was only on the phone, so I couldn't show you what I was saying, and I was talking about tripping over what I believe were pieces of the plane, and then, you know, I never knew. I mean, I've seen this, the Star of Life is what it's called, and I'm going to pull up a screen grab without showing anything bad, and what that is that's the thing that's on the side of the plane, and it's on the side of medevacs, and that is over in the parking lot on that big chunk of this airplane. And so that is called the Star of Life. I'm sorry, Greg, I'm on the phone a lot. But that was one identifiable piece of this plane that is sitting over there in the parking lot of the Roosevelt Mall. And you can see the police parking lot all the personnel in that scene this far back. And Jason, you were, first of all, bombs are what's important now. But we also are talking about the scene out there, how long it's going to be a scene out there. And don't be shocked to hear that Cotton Avenue needs to be prepared because we saw the gas line burn, we saw the fuel, and likely the road just melted under the intense heat from all those fires. And it wasn't just one fire or two fires. There was like 4 burning at one point that I could see from one van burning fast food restaurant there. So, and as I said then, there was no effort to put out those fires because there was no lines in Checkpoint. They were down concentrated on those homes on the side street on Cotton called Calvert. And then we saw how those planes shot through the roof, which eventually collapsed. And then they were worried about saving lives and getting people out of vehicles and out of homes. This road is probably packed and should be down for a few weeks. So that is just another thing I'm noticing as I look around here at the corner of Cotton and the Boulevard, and it is so eerily quiet now. All of the boulevard is shut down here, and you'll hear the police horn. No more sirens.
Sorry, I was just looking to see what they were.
For Roosevelt Boulevard and Cotton Avenue. And here is the number that keeps sticking out. Everything we're saying has the number 6 in it. This happens right after 6 o'clock. We have 6 confirmed fatalities. We have 6 homes that are damaged. We have 6 people at the hospital. And the number that probably might change will be those fatalities if people were killed in those cars. And you can take, when you're in a car, you have no expectation that anything's going to hit from the sky, and you're not in expectation of all that jet fuel burning, and then combining with your fuel, and you don't, maybe, even if you get out of the car, you're in trouble. So that is the fear right now, and that's why city officials aren't even saying numbers. They're not even just talking about the 6 that the company has confirmed were on the plane, because they fear that there could be more people when they get to the scene. And you've got medical examiner personnel coming out here as well. But just an awful scene to deal with, awful conditions, because now the rain's picking up again, and I'm sorry if I look like a wet rat all night, but nobody's worried about how they look in this kind of story. This is just an awful, tragic story out here in Northeast Philadelphia, and they've had plane crashes linked for the people who are lifelong Northeast Philly residents. They've had links to this. We in our business had a link to Northeast Philly Airport when the great team from Action News, that's their home base, when they died at Christmas time last year. So tragedies have been linked to Northeast Philly Airport in the past, and sadly this may be the worst one of all.
We always joke about the schools. for pooping.
Do you want to get in the car? I love it for some time.
There's times where people can't do that. Report. And even down to mentioning our operators here. I was listening.
That's like when I was down here.
I never put it on you like
Yeah.
that's the journalism that I'm always missing. We're actually reminiscing about you know what, like that if it was you guys, you're part of it. You know what I mean? Like,
We not even playing cards?
your topic's the one your topic's part of the one I didn't smell anything when I was standing over by a shop.
First of all, when you're in there for a while, you don't stop smelling it. You know, you don't smell it until you get the next morning. You go to your dirty little clothes or whatever. But I noticed the internet is so close now. Yeah, so that was something. It's so fun.
So where were you exactly again?
So for the story itself,
When it came down. No, when it came down.
I'm on Putman Avenue, and Tom, he's the old head of the bomb squad.
Oh, yeah.
I love showing you all my babies.
How far off the street?
I ran across the street and caught him in McDonald's.
But so your car was essentially...
I was like right about here. And then I called him McDonald's. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And then, no, I had a cage in the back. I left it in the back and I thought it was significant. But you see that, you see this. I had a cage. It was a cage.
It sounds like it's over there.
There's a perfect ratio in that parking lot. Yeah, yep, it's all across there. So I run across the street, and then I start running to the parking lot, and there's the parking lot's under construction, so there's a car with a tall fence. So I'm an idiot. I'll show you my first video. I'm videotaping, and I start tripping over parts of the plane, and I'm taking shit. I'm like, these fucking slobs out here. You hear me? I think I say this. I'm commenting, then I realize I'm going to send this back as a report. Whenever you try to use these, please don't stop me already. I thought I was going to do that. You're cold. You're cold. Okay, 6 o'clock. One of the flags and all these flat on the bus. One of the flags. He knows not far from there. And just down there. Yeah, so I was just listening to that. And I'm like, I brought it up a bit.
I brought it up. I was like, I don't know how bad the shop is.
So I'm calling him. Well, the reason I'm on time is I'm meeting him on Route 73 and I'm going on Brookfield State Super Media. And I said, I'm taking my classes. So, year to 8, so I didn't have to get it. But then I'm like, I gotta get my house done. So then I emailed the state center.
Well, Eric, what means like? You're cute. I mean, pissed off.
Do you think you're with me like that?
No, he didn't know you. He was clearly with you. Like, with.
So I didn't know you were with this story, and I came in and I took a news call, which I never did. So I came up here. I left at 2. And that's why I had a car. I hate driving. And then I told you I had to move the car because they said, all the investigators were finding pieces.
Well, then I called the McDonald's.
The thing that
4 or 5 minutes later, the gun stopped for a building exploded. And they got here and they said there were 2 houses fully involved, blah, 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 blah. And my desk called me and they're like, it's a plane crash. And I'm like, because at that point I locked on fire. And fire, they were talking about a plane crash. They didn't know.
Corner house, the flames were from the ground all the way through the roof. Like, that was like the worst thing. And then I couldn't even see it. And I'm looking up, I'm pulling the tarp down on the fence. And it was like, you know, guys reading all this shit. And then they chasing me to train, and they chasing me to train, because everywhere. And,
Did they know who you were?
no, and then they got box checked on it. They did after I got close, and I was like, oh, sorry. And that was live on the road. Then the one dude didn't leave, there's a cafe behind James, and I was taking stuff from there. They're right on the road. They by the entrance. There's like, the entrance to the mall. Yes, it's dumped. Yeah. And
So is the whole past dumped?
the hole.
There's like a hole in the middle of the
I mean, where I just talked about being burned in.
I know Steve talked about he pulled it in, got out, and he was like 100 feet from what looked like to be a crater in the middle.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
And which might have been where that flame was coming out of.
Yeah, there's a oil line too. And that, real quick, like 5 seconds. What? All right, well, there's that. She's like, I'm not it's like, no, no. Christine Perez,
Oh, is that the
Christine.
I don't.
It's Sloan. I put her on election day.
guys, let me bring it up higher. Can you guys hear me now? I don't know.
No, I can hear you. I can, sí, sí, sí. Okay.
321, 321, 321.
Hello? Sí. Budelia, sí te lo escribí. Sí, no, Budelia Acosta, ¿verdad? Sí. Ah, Budelia, ¿verdad? Con G. Ya sabía, yo no sé de dónde era. Yo te sigo. For later, Adam, I wanted to do where everybody else is, because I want to be able to show that piece. So for the next one. Severo. Tú tienes vivo. Tú vas a tener vivo. Y es con G, es Budelia.